Well, good morning. Good, beautiful Wednesday morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and we will be glad in it. I'm so glad that you've been able to join me for just a few minutes this morning to readjust your view of God, to give yourself a midweek adjustment if necessary, to get back on His path of light, and to point your face toward a Bible-believing church on Sunday where you can go and be a blessing and also be blessed. If you don't have such a church, we would welcome you here. You come and be part of us here in Frogsboro, North Carolina, and you can find us because there's a little sign right out in front of the church. It says Frogsboro. So when you see that little bitty sign, you know that you are right at the church. Today, we're going to be talking out of Psalm 139. Psalm 139 again. We're going to be doing verses 3 and 4 this morning. Psalm 139, verses 3 and 4. And in this section of Psalm 139, beginning with 1 and going through 6, we are learning of how God knows every detail, every nuance, every thought, every motivation of a human being. There's nothing that is hidden from Him. Sometimes I hear people say, well, I don't come to church because I haven't gotten my life right yet. Well, do you think God doesn't know you haven't gotten your life right yet? Come on to church, and maybe here you will find someone who will help you along that pathway. Psalm 139, 3 and 4 says, you comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, you know it all together. So when we look at these verses, the very first thing we need to see is that when David says, you comprehend my path. So when you look at this word in the Old Hebrew, the word comprehend has the idea of winnowing, of clearing a path. That this isn't that God understands the path we're following and that He's kind of off in a distance and He's just watching and hoping we don't trip over that branch laying right there in the middle of the path. No, this has a different meaning. It has the idea of God going before us. That He is seeing the path that we are following. When we are following in His pathway, He is a light unto our path. But beyond that, this has the idea that He's clearing the way. That He's clearing the obstacles. That He sees the branch in our way. That He sees the stumbling block in our way. And that He is winnowing the path. Meaning He is clearing out. He is moving the trash out of the way. And then it goes on, it says, and my lying down. Well, this is the opposite of what he said in verse 2, where he says, and my rising up. My lying down has the idea of lying down where you sleep, where you are going to inhabit. And are acquainted with all my ways. When you look at those words, acquainted means that God is completely aware. He is intimately aware. He knows us better than we know ourselves. Sometimes we tell ourselves things, and God knows better. Sometimes we're going off down a path, I won't say lying to ourselves, but certainly some point of deception, telling ourselves that if I do this, then I'm going to do it. If I win the lottery, that's the one I hear a lot. If I win the lottery, I'll give a whole lot of money to charities and church. And God looks and He knows that in your heart, you don't honor giving with the little bit you have. So why would you honor if you had a lot? Verse 4 goes on. It says, for there is not a word on my tongue. Now that one concerns me because often I have words on my tongue that should not be there. Now I don't say them out loud, but if somebody cuts me off in traffic, my shoulder seize up and I don't think very nice things. But then often I will pray for that person and I'll say, Lord, help them to get there. Wherever they're going in such a hurry, help them to be safe. When someone passes me in a no passing zone, I pray for them. I say, Lord, please get them there. I know that what they did, they went around me and they're not obeying the laws of man, but I would just ask you that if they are in that big a hurry, that you will bless them and keep them. So God knows the word on our tongue. He knows it completely. He knows it before we speak it. Because it goes on, it says, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. See, God knows the word. God knows the meaning of the word. God knows the motivation behind the word. God knows what we really mean. In the South, sometimes people will say, well, bless her heart. But they don't really mean bless her heart. They really have a different meaning behind it. And it's a way of sort of calling the person stupid or ignorant. They say, bless her heart, bless his heart. God knows. God knows that motivation when we utter a word and it is a form of a curse on one of our brothers and sisters. God knows when we are talking about our boss or our leaders in such a way that is ungodly, and we need to watch that tongue. I want you to be encouraged today. You continue to do great things in God. You look for a Bible-believing church this coming Sunday. I love you. I know you love me. I love this nation. I pray for this nation. I pray for this world. I pray for our leaders. I pray for each of us to stand up and do what is right and speak the truth. I want you to be blessed this week. You have a great day today. You have a great rest of the week, and I hope that on Sunday morning you will find yourself in a Bible-believing church where you can go and be among brothers and sisters, and you can be a blessing to those brothers and sisters, and they can be a blessing to you. Have a great week.